Almost every so-called stock expert analyst on Seeking Alpha and all those other kinds of platforms claim that Tesla stock will crash any moment from now. In fact, it's imminent, it's immediate, it could happen within 24 hours. Sell now, sell immediately, do it quick now, otherwise you're a maniac. They still do say this stuff, I'm not making it up, seriously. However, Tesla just lost its title. It's officially lost its title, and that is something that I think won't be mentioned or given any airtime by these alarmists whatsoever. Hello my friends and welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being part of the electric revolution, which is gaining steam at a rate which is faster today than it was yesterday and much faster than it was a month ago. It just keeps on plowing ahead at full speed, just like Tesla. Tesla, in fact, just lost its title. Now, what am I talking about? Lost its title? That's ridiculous. Well, actually they did. They lost their title as the most shorted stock on the US stock market. They're no longer the most shorted stock. Guess who is? Apple. Seriously. You can't make this stuff up. Now, I have to say, I'm quite shocked. Tesla's price to earnings ratio, what is it at about 100 right now? Fluctuates, of course, with the wild swings in Tesla's stock price. But its price to earnings ratio is at a multiple of nearly 5x of what Apple stock is. In other words, Apple stock, it seems like it's a fairly reasonably priced stock. I mean, look at the historic price to earnings ratio on the US stock exchange. It's at around 15, 16, right? Apple's sitting at about just over 20 at a price to earnings ratio. It seems like a fairly safe stock. I mean, for example, Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett, so-called greatest investor in history, and he was for about 30 years. I mean, he has decided that Apple is the safest stock in the world. 40% of Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio is completely in one stock. Now, Berkshire Hathaway have about 36 different stocks that they're invested in. 36, but one of them makes up 40% of their portfolio. 40%. And in their brilliant genius thinking, apparently stock shorters are saying that Apple is the next stock to go crashing down real fast. I'm not sure if that's true, but that said, it's interesting to see the way that this psychology works. The psychology of the market is perplexing to me. Now, what's even more perplexing to me is the fact that anyone in their right mind would be investing money with these muppet, crazy stock shorters. These shorters have lost billions of dollars over the past few years. Sure, they talk about their wins, don't they? They talk very loudly when they win, but when they lose, they say nothing. And they've been losing big time. When it comes to Tesla, obviously a lot of them decided, well, enough is enough. We don't want to lose any more money. We've been losing and we've been bleeding. Maybe there's no more bleeding that can be done. Maybe they're all bled out. Now, Elon Musk himself has often warned people not to bet against Tesla on the stock market. He went as far as predicting next level short burn of the century, and it happened back in 2020. Tesla stock went on a massive run, and people shorting the stock had lost cumulatively tens of billions of dollars. And this is the kind of stuff that just makes me laugh. I mean, how can you take these guys seriously? Did they really do their research? I don't think they did. Over the years, Tesla has been the target of some high-profile short sellers like Jim Chanos, who made his name on shorting Enron, and David Einhorn, who made his name shorting Lehman Brothers before its 2008 collapse. So these two guys, right, basically became movie stars in some ways because they got one thing right. You get one thing right and people think you're a genius, right? You get one thing right, then you make 10 bad decisions. And as long as that one thing you got right is, as long as you bleat about that loudly enough, people will still think you're a prophet. And so people have lost. I mean, Einhorn, right? The majority of the money he's losing is not his own money. It's investors' money. That's the crazy part about all this. Now, after the short burn, Musk ended up sending Einhorn a bunch of Tesla shorts to tease him. Even Bill Gates ended up shorting Tesla as well. He admitted to that. Personally, I've got to say I did lose a bit of respect for Bill Gates by shorting Tesla. Bill Gates has also made some very bizarre comments like saying that electric trucks won't work. They are just unfeasible. Clearly, he doesn't really understand the market. He just hasn't put the time and investment into understanding what's happening in battery energy density and what's happening in truck electric vehicle development. He just didn't understand it. And I think if you don't understand something, just shut up. Just don't say anything about it. That's why, guys, on this channel, I don't talk about autopilot or full self-driving very, very little. I do a little bit, but not a lot. And when I do talk about it, I admit I don't really fully know what I'm talking about, because I think most of you don't either. Most people don't understand what's really going on with deep learning and neural nets. You pretend you do, but none of us really do. Well, maybe a minuscule percentage of geniuses out there really know what's going on, right? For more than 2 years now, Tesla has remained the most shorted stock in the world based on the total value of the stock position. S3 Partners Research, a firm specializing in short interest, reported that the short position on Apple has surpassed Tesla for the first time. They said Tesla Inc. has held the top spot in the short interest league tables for 864 days, almost 2.5 years since April 2020. But Apple has recently recaptured the crown. Apple short interest is 18.44 billion, 112.86 million shares shorted, and 0.7% short interest of float versus Tesla short interest of 17.44 billion, 57.3 million shares shorted, and 2.2% interest and percentage float. Now, it sounds from those numbers like Tesla still holds the title, but Tesla stock is still more shorted than Apple's based on percentage of the float. S3 Partners explained the difference in a letter to its clients. It said the change in the top spot in the short interest rankings was primarily based on short sellers cutting their TSLA exposure and not a huge jump in Apple short selling. Tesla's short interest declined in 2022 as short sellers have continued to cover and reduce their positions in response to a long-term short squeeze, even though Tesla's stock price is down for the year. So basically what they're saying by covering is they're paying out of their own pockets, and they're like, no more of this. I don't want to bleed anymore. I don't have the appetite for continuing this kind of stupidity. That's essentially what's happened. In other words, Tesla short interest has declined. Tesla short positions have been basically shorted out. They've had to buy their way out of these positions, and then they've said enough is enough. And the other thing that's happened is, a lot of these investors have started to realize, well, Tesla makes a lot of money, and that's not going to end anytime soon. And maybe Tesla was right. Maybe the electric revolution is going to take over the world. Maybe electric cars will make up the majority of the car market by 2026. And if that's the case, then what are we doing? Why are we doing this? For years, Musk and fans have been complaining about the massive amount of money being invested against the company's stock, says Electric. I don't think that's entirely fair. I think they're complaining about the media attention to that. The negative media attention to Tesla, which is constant negative media attention on Tesla. It's fair. I mean, it's a 24-hour cycle. So I think it's a fair point, people complaining against that. However, for the first time in a long time, shorts are losing interest in the automaker. And to be honest, I'm happy to see that. It's great. We can do without this negative publicity towards any electric car manufacturer, let alone the world's biggest. Now, let me know what you think in the comments section below. Have you considered shorting Tesla? What do you think of people shorting Tesla? And what do you think of people shorting Apple? To be honest, I'm kind of surprised to see all this short on Apple. I mean, if Apple was, a stock which had a huge kind of growth rate priced into it, I would understand, but it doesn't. So what do you think about that? Let me know in the comments section below. And as always, have a great day, and I'll see you again on the next video. Bye-bye.